Hello.
What up? Hello.
We are starting a cult.
It's
We're
the
back
podcast. Again.
for this
Every Friday.
beautiful fall Friday that we're having
It's
here.
cool. It's spooky season. And
Alec
you know
Baldwin
what?
just killed a
He
guy.
did.
Or it was a woman, I
He
believe.
killed a woman and injured a man with a gun.
Yeah, how
about that?
That's not what the episode's on, but can we just take a moment to just talk about what the fuck is that
He
about?
just keeps fucking up, doesn't he?
Yeah, first he calls his daughter like a fat pig whore, and now he kills a woman. It's not boding well.
He's not going in a good direction.
I never would have thought that if any of the Baldwin siblings that Alec would be the one to kill somebody. But here we are.
We're all wrong sometimes, you know.
Here we are in the year of 2021, and Alec Baldwin has killed a man, or what? I keep saying a man. He's killed a woman.
Isn't that just the most terrifying thing of all?
But how about that one to start you off this week?
Yeah, pretty
Alec Baldwin,
spooky.
the murderer. You guys will never watch Cat in the Hat the same again, I promise you.
Man, you know, I'm just thinking of people like maybe years from now, you're like, oh, this is like a Halloween episode. Yeah, that's what the podcast is. We are starting a cult. That's Grant. I'm Jake, and Mitch is here. But we're doing a podcast on the origins of Halloween. But just imagine people in like a couple of years like going back to this, and we're just constantly going to be a reminder to people that Alec Baldwin indeed killed someone.
Yeah.
That's it's just right at the head. It's just like, oh yeah, he totally did.
Yeah, Alec
Holy
Baldwin
shit.
has now killed an individual. But anyways, that's not the point of the episode. We are here to enlighten you guys on a little holiday that we like to call the Christmas of
Halloween.
October.
Yeah.
The 4th of July of the fall, and I don't know, Dead Easter.
There's going to be so many other names that we're going to talk about in this anyway. So, yeah. There's going to be all those things all at once.
If we want to get technical, Dead Easter is Easter.
Deaster.
But, you know, we just call it Easter because it's a little more lighthearted for the kids.
Easter's
you know?
the zombie day.
It's Zombify Day.
He's coming back. He's back here now. He was dead before.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, I hope you guys are ready because it is a little bit of it's a lot more interesting than I think I originally anticipated.
No, yeah, I was very surprised at how much there was on the. I was also surprised that we haven't done this before. Like thinking back, like we've gone through like 2 Halloweens and we haven't just done an origin of Halloween episode. Are you shitting me?
Yeah,
So
it's hard to believe.
Yeah.
I don't.
Mitch, you're
what are you
saying
talking
Sam Hain. It's pronounced Samhain, actually. Samhain. Yeah.
about? Oh,
We'll get to that in a sec, though.
sodomy.
Not
Yeah, no,
necessarily
I've heard of that
that.
before.
That's what they do on Samhain.
I'm not
Oh.
too familiar with Samhain.
Samhain.
Salamander.
Well, you want to
sauce.
know what it is? It's within like the first 2 lines of these notes I got.
Okay, well, you
Yeah.
know what? Fuck it.
Let's
just
fucking dive in. The origins of Halloween.
strap in, put on your fucking strap-ons, and get ready for the afternoon. All right.
Yeah, just sit there with it. Yeah.
Yeah, sit it with your balls out.
So, the origin of Halloween starts all the way back in the 17th century with the Celts.
No, I'm too
The
scared.
Celts, Grant.
I'm too scared. We can't go
The
back that
Celts. They were an early tribe of Europe. But they still existed back then. Does that scare you?
far. It's not so much the Celts that scare me. It's the it's just Europe as a whole.
Europe back in the day.
No, even just
Or just
Europe
today
in
even?
general. It just scares me. It's
Wow.
very it's inappropriate.
You
is what
truly
it is.
are an American.
It's Europe. You're inappropriate. Do you hear me?
Here they have those nude beaches over there. All right, so yeah, origins of Halloween start back in the 17th century with the Celts, the early tribe of Europe. The Celts divided up the year between 2 halves, the light and the dark half, and their holiday to celebrate the beginning of the dark half was called Samhain. Like, and Mitch was saying Samhain. It looks like Samhain, but it's not. It's Samhain. So this holiday was to celebrate the harvest before the winter and took place on October 31st of all days.
No,
It makes
way.
sense. It really just makes sense. So the Celts would celebrate Samhain by lighting large bonfires, and the holiday was known to be a time of the year, to be the time of the year when time and space became almost permeable.
Oh,
Isn't that interesting?
Okay.
Yeah, in other words, like the veil between life and death is at its thinnest, and the spirits could wander into our world and vice versa.
That's fucked
So
up.
it's just an inherently spooky time.
I feel like that's almost comforting, though. It's like, all the dead people can come back and hang out for a little bit. You
It
know?
just matters how cold it is outside.
Yeah.
That
And
sounds like.
it's weird because where we're at now, it actually has gotten a little bit chillier. So
It's
I'm
the
thinking
perfect weather.
maybe some ghosts are coming back and hanging out for a bit.
No, it's true. You know what else might show up? Bats.
Oh,
From the large bonfires, they quickly became associated with Samhain because they attract bugs and bats
no.
like bugs.
Bats are mythical creatures. Everybody knows that.
What?
No one's ever actually seen a bat. Every time you thought you saw a bat,
That was parakeet.
it was.
You got yourself parakeet
black
there?
parakeet.
Yeah.
He shops at Hot Topic. It was just you couldn't identify
Sure,
him.
he can see in the dark. He's got one of those lamps on his one of those. What are they like? The headband lamps.
Like,
Just parakeets with those. That's what a bat is in your mind.
oh, like what joggers wear. Like they have the little flashlight.
yeah, like
headbands?
miners. Yeah.
I got one of those.
That's
Mitch has one of those for his electrical work.
I have one of those for like when I'm looking for a snack at midnight. It's just you go around, you find some good shit, maybe under the couch, a nice peanut.
Yeah. Those
God,
are
I
usually
want
in my
some
belly
peanuts.
button. Well, so bats are, they would show up at these bonfires. So they became associated with them. The first spooky creature association of the holiday. Despite the spookiness of bats, Christians at the time, rather than dash away all these traditions entirely, they embraced some aspects of different religions practiced by, different people.
That is unique.
Isn't it crazy? This, of course, was in hopes to coax pagans over as converts. Classic Christians
playing a long
move,
con,
you know?
you say, huh?
Yeah, it's like the equivalent of like the cool priest. Like
They're like,
using
oh
the word
yeah, we're down
swag
with
and lit.
that. Come worship and give us stuff.
Everything. Give us everything. Including your soul. What else we got here? One of the more popular examples of this was a celebration of the Roman holiday Lemuria. Taking place on May 13th. It was a festival often accompanied by feasting.
By feces?
Afterward, but feasting mostly.
Ooh,
But definitely feces was involved.
I feel like that's one thing we've gotten away from. We only do a feast like once a year. And that's like Thanksgiving. I mean, different
You don't
people.
feast on like Christmas?
Yeah, but I would never classify it the same as a feast.
Sort of like 4th of July barbecue. Come on.
No, I want like a sit down, like there's just an ungodly amount of food, and you just eat until you physically cannot move.
Old Country Buffet is what you're thinking of.
Yeah.
You just want to go there more.
I wouldn't mind, honestly.
I honestly wouldn't. I haven't been there since I was like a kid, dude.
I wonder if it
I
would
miss
live up
it.
to the hype that I have in my head.
I really hope it does.
It probably won't.
Because I had birthdays there, man. I was like, I want to go here. But, it's been years. So, Lemuria, right? Like I said, May 13th, festival often accompanied by feasting. But Lemuria was a day when malevolent ghosts and spirits would haunt the living. And and that's pretty scary. But to counteract this, the Romans, they had a practice of pouring milk on their graves and making small cakes as offerings to quell the dead.
Ah, that's what the dead want.
Yeah.
They want milk and eggs. And
Milk and cake.
Well,
Who doesn't want milk and cake?
I don't know where I got the eggs from.
I mean, eggs are in cake usually.
Cake
Right?
it's interesting, but don't we think it's slightly selfish of humans to be like, they want our cake. Like, what are they going to do with it? They're fucking dead.
Man, how bad must those graves smell, too?
That's
Just
a
like
good point.
after, sunrise.
Just curdled ass milk on
Yeah,
top.
just cottage cheese on my grave. I don't want that. But it might keep me, from attacking them for the time being. Well, so this, the Christians, they co-opted Lemuria, making May 13th All Saints' Day, also known as All Hallows' Day.
All
Okay,
right.
and that was to honor the most holy of Christians, whatever that means. So this was such a success in converting non-Christians that Christians moved the date of the celebration to November 1st, so as to drain significance from Samhain. So they're using a different culture's like practice against another culture, and everyone's becoming Christians. But people then began referring to October 31st as All Hallows Evening, then shortened to All Hallows Even, and eventually Halloween.
I like how the first shortening, they just got rid of 3 letters.
Yeah, they didn't even get rid of the N at the end. They're just like, not Eve, it has to be even.
Yeah, it's even. Like, what does that fucking mean?
That was just a guy who liked wordplay. It's like, guys, let's split it up evenly. You know,
Yeah, he
one
got
of
a
those
raise.
guys, and then he got fired. Maybe.
That was the birth of Hallmark.
Oh God. All right, so the practice of trick or treating. We're going into some other we kind of bounce around in my notes.
No, it's
So-
fine. It's fine. I like that.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
So the practice of trick or treating also began way back when, and strangely enough, from the Christians as well. On All Souls Day, which was November 2nd, in honor of all the fallen Christians. Oh, Navi, I know. It's okay. All the fallen Christians and all that for Souls Day. And the priests began telling their congregations to pray for the Christians trapped in purgatory. Right? Purgatory. What is your idea of purgatory, Grant? What do you see when you hear that word?
I've always felt that purgatory was just like a waiting room at like a car place.
Oh, so there's like Morion and shit.
Yeah, there's just like daytime television, like free coffee that they made, a couple hours ago, so it's not quite fresh.
Bathroom with like a door that doesn't line up correctly.
Yeah,
So you have to like slam it.
maybe they have like individual bags of like Lay's potato chips, but that's like the extent of it. You kind of just sit there
Yeah.
and you wait for them to decide where you're gonna go.
I always kind of pictured it as like the stop motion like animation that South Park used to use with like construction paper.
Yeah, yeah,
It's just that with no background. So you're just there.
yeah. You're just
You're
present.
you're just chilling.
You can't even like really sit down or anything. You're just like, well, I'm here.
It's like I don't even need to sit down. I'm not tired. Do I sleep here? Do I need a blanket?
Yeah, I always felt that purgatory. It's synonymous with like nothing to me. It's just like, yeah, you just, I don't know, what else do you have to do today?
Yeah.
But wait,
No, it's true. A lot of people associate nothing with just death.
Yeah.
So maybe just death is always purgatory. Either way, on what was it? Souls Day, November 2nd. Priests began telling their congregations to pray for every Christian trapped in purgatory. Supposedly, if enough prayers were said for an individual, they were freed from purgatory to go into heaven.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know.
And what if they didn't get enough?
I guess they'd chill out. They just chill.
They're just like, you're gonna wait another year. Hopefully, they pray next year too.
No, it's true. So this was the catalyst of the practice called souling, wherein children would go door to door begging for soul cakes, which were spiced cakes filled with raisins. Kind of sounds gross, but at the time, that was cream of the crop. That was the candy. So in exchange for prayers directed at the people's fallen loved ones. So the kids were like, hey, we need some fucking cakes, and we'll pray for your aunt that died. Maybe she'll go into heaven.
They're
They're basically just like...
we're not
it's-
gonna pray until you give us something we want.
Yeah,
you
it's
fucking
like
idiot.
it's like the theologian's version of like a kid going up to random neighbors, like, "Can I cut your grass for $20?"
Yeah, like,
It's like
do you believe in the Lord and Savior?
it's like you give me this, I'll do you a little something.
Well, I hear your bitch mother might actually be in purgatory, you see. And if you give me one cake, I'll get her out of there for you.
I'll get her out. I'll get her out so fast.
And
I wonder
they're just
if
like,
it's-
Yep. Give him the cakes. Give him all the cakes.
Yeah.
Let's get her out of there.
I wonder if it is just solely like the amount of people praying for you, or if it's the amount of prayers said for you.
What if you just say like a blanket prayer for everybody in purgatory? Does that not count? Or does it have to be individualized?
No, that's too macro for
And
these
then
people.
therefore,
That's
what if-
too big.
What if you pronounce the name wrong and there's actually nobody by that specific
They
name?
just- they have like identification cards in the afterlife. Like, oh, no, this is clearly the mispronunciation. We don't know who this is, but it's not you. That's for sure. It's like the DMV. Like, fill this out.
Yeah, and like
Go wait in that line.
Is there like a counter up there? You know, like at the deli, like when you take a ticket, there's like a number, but it goes in reverse. It's like, well, you need 814 prayers, and you got 3, so you're making some headway there, buddy.
It's like,
Like, damn it, somebody pray for me.
unfortunately for you, these don't roll over into the next year, and it is December 29th.
Yeah, so you better
So-
hopefully something happens tomorrow.
It's like, God damn it, this bureaucratic death.
And we're off on holidays, so tomorrow's a half day. Purgatory's
Ah,
closed.
yes.
I don't know if
Prayers
you do
don't
that.
count on New Year's. So yeah, that was like the first iteration of trick or treating back then. Going back to All Hallows Eve for a second, beggars on All Hallows Eve would often be drunken and rowdy on this day.
Oh, that's what they're
Yeah.
designed to do, though. That's what they are.
No, it's true. And they would travel house to house, demanding food and drinks after doing like little small performances at the doorstep, you know.
I performed Michael Jackson's Thriller in its entirety for you.
And I only fell twice.
You give me anything I want, all right? That's what the payoff is.
And they would often wear masks to hide their identities. Right?
Okay, makes sense. Actually, that doesn't make a lot of sense. But
It doesn't.
I'm
Well,
okay.
it's like I want to be able to beg on you from the street tomorrow morning, you
Oh,
know,
yeah,
and not
that's
have
true.
any like bad memories from the night before. You know,
Oh, okay.
maybe one of those. I don't know. But speaking on some of the origins of general rowdiness of youth on Halloween, the story of Guy Fawkes.
Guy Fawkes.
This Guy Fawkes.
V
yeah.
for Vendetta. They love this fucking guy.
Yeah, Guy Fawkes. The story of him must be told. So, on November 5th of 1605, a man named Guy Fawkes attempted to blow up the House of Lords in London using 36 kegs of gunpowder.
Where do you get that?
I don't even know. China at the time, I assume.
I guess. Like,
You
who
know?
do you know to get that? We're in the dawn of, internet connectivity. And where do you find the guy nowadays to find you that shit?
Man, I could probably fit maybe like 6 kegs in my van. And this guy, they weren't even fucking cars. Come on. Like, they were probably barely buggies.
Yeah, this guy
Back
was
then,
just
like,
blowing them like they
it
were
was so
fucking
long
sticks.
ago. Yeah, how easy is it going to be to like slip fucking 36 kegs of gunpowder anywhere without being noticed?
Well, he tried.
He tried, but he got caught. And before he could carry out this, this thing, he got arrested and he was tried and he was found guilty for his punishment. Now, I think this might have been a bit overboard, but you just give me your opinion.
Do you think?
Yeah, for this punishment, he was hanged. His body was then drawn and quartered, and the 4 pieces were then burned.
I just feel like that was unnecessary. Like, why?
The last 2 things especially, you know.
Not-
It's
not
like
even-
maybe you could hang him over a roaring fire.
See, I think one of the first 2,
Like hack at his feet, like a
unnecessary.
piñata.
hang him or draw and quarter him. And burning him, that's fine. Whatever. If you want to do that after, I don't give a shit. But why? It just that's some barbaric shit. I don't know.
I don't know, maybe the sadistic people, employed to do these things were just like, it's been a slow month. I'm going to try to get all this stuff out on this guy.
It's like when
know?
nowadays when we have slow news days and they send like the camera crew and somebody out to like an old folks home.
There's like, this person's 109.
Yeah,
It's like, wow.
That's the equivalent.
Look
like,
how sad and in
we
pain
got-
they look.
We got nothing on the docket until next week, so let's just like fuck this guy up real bad.
Yeah.
Real bad.
Real
Let's
bad.
ruin him.
Well, so that happened. He tried to blow up the House of Lords. He got caught. A lot of bad stuff happened to him. But the very next year and every year after, children in London would mock the memory of Guy Fawkes by setting fires, begging, and causing general chaos in the streets of London.
That's a horrible lesson to pick up from that guy.
Just like, we're going to mock him by just doing pretty much what he did, just on a smaller scale.
Let's just try to burn some shit down and be real nuisances to like anyone that we encounter. How about
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
I mean, it started a good tradition, so that's fine.
It did. Without this, we wouldn't have Halloween as we know it. Keep all that in
yeah,
mind.
that's valid. That's valid.
Yeah. So this annual day of chaos and destruction, much to the dismay of the Puritans at the time, made its way over to America. Okay, so Puritans hated this. But it's really no surprise that America took to not only the youth's mockery of Guy Fawkes, but the rest of the practices stemming from the Christian adaptations of pagan traditions. This is especially evident in the spooky aspects of these holidays' practices. All right? Because America and its culture are just steeped in death.
Oh, yeah.
It's super true. And the Civil War sealed that tradition's staying power. Right? Because post-Civil War, it was fucking brutal. Right? Like, the entire country was obsessed with death. There were brothers fighting brothers, like fathers fighting sons, and so many unidentified bodies. So, some of the first ghost Halloween stories told around fires were tales of soldiers returning home from the Civil War.
Yeah, they're
Just because
like
so many
ghost
families
stories.
were like, well, they're gone. They haven't been identified. We're never going to know.
Ridiculous.
Spooky. So America is a prime breeding ground for Halloween spookiness. All right, so let's get into jack-o'-lanterns. You can't have Halloween without a jack-o'-lantern.
I mean,
You
maybe.
could, but it would be so bad.
I
Do you have
like
pumpkins?
A
Are
good,
you going to do that this year?
probably not, but
Why
I do
not?
like a good jack-o'-lantern. I can't say I don't.
Well,
They really bring out the mood, you know?
well, could you get some like a turnip or something?
You know
you
what?
do it with turnip.
No, I'll probably just like cry into a pillowcase,
Well,
and then it just wake up.
you
in
can fill
November.
that pillowcase with candy,
No,
and then
it'll
get
just
drunk
be,
or something. I don't know. Have a good time, man.
It'll just be sadness.
I guess it will. But let's just keep talking about jack-o'-lanterns. So the practice of making jack-o'-lanterns also came from Europe. There was this-
Goddamn Europeans.
I know Europeans did everything, but so there was a legend of a man literally named Jack-o'-lantern, who was such a troublemaker that he was thrown out of hell.
Wow.
I
Yeah, what
don't
do
know
you?
where he went.
How do you get evicted from hell? Where do you go? Like, you can't go anywhere else.
I don't know, but I guess the devil fucking respected him. He was like, you know what, you did good. Like he gifted him an eternal glowing ember. So that's pretty
That
cool.
doesn't seem like a great gift.
Yeah, well, he's still the devil, even when he's given adulations. It's like
That's a lot of maintenance, you know?
yeah, and he probably couldn't, carry it around, but Jack supposedly went on to carry the ember around using a hollowed out turnip. Right, the turnip, you do a turnip, grand.
You got the parsnips
Yeah,
and the
dude.
turnip.
All of the super unpleasant to eat fucking vegetables. But typical of America, Americans updated the embers casing and began like carving pumpkins on Halloween as opposed to the turnips.
I'm glad we chose the pumpkin.
Yeah, and
that's a good choice.
Yeah, and they would just put candles in it, much like we do today. Many children would place the jack-o'-lanterns on poles draped with white sheets underneath that they would then pop up in front of windows to scare unwitting victims.
Yeah, I'd be pretty fucking terrified
Yeah.
if there was a pumpkin in my window
No,
looking
yeah.
at me.
Very much so.
Any fruit or vegetable that's looking at me with eyes and it's on fire,
I don't need
I don't
that.
want to see
I don't need that in my life. What do we got here? So, though this practice, as well as the practices stemming from the mockery of Guy Fawkes, were a handful for adult populations at large. I don't know why I got so wordy with these notes. Jesus. Most of the truly chaotic traditions of the time, stone throwing, prank pulling, they came from Scotland.
Oh, yeah.
So there you go. It wasn't until
Scots.
the Scots, dude, the Celts. Hey, it all comes back. So it wasn't until the 20th century in America that the modern Halloween imagery began surfacing. Right. So it was the early 1900s. When artists' renditions of Halloween began associating the day with all things scary.
And
right?
slutty.
And that comes later, but still, you're not wrong. Skeletons, witches, and spiderwebs began becoming cornerstone images associated with Halloween, but none were more popular than the white-sheeted ghost.
Oh, yeah?
You got your classic Scooby-Doo ghost.
That is so funny to me because I never understood why that was so scary. It's just a floating sheet.
No, it is true, but interestingly enough, the white sheets were actually meant to be the white shrouds that people were ceremoniously wrapped in before burial.
That makes
Back
more
in the
sense.
day,
That
right?
makes a lot more sense.
So it's like I'm fresh from the grave, still got my sheet on. You
Still
know?
rocking the fucking SHEET, baby.
There you go. Also popular were images of horned devils that were inspired by medieval depictions of Satan.
You horn devil
You
bitch.
horned devil. So, Halloween in America in the 20th century was fucking wild. Grant, do you even understand
I mean, I
how
have
fucking wild this was?
I have like a very brief idea of how wild, but I don't even know if I want to be able to see what shit went down back then because it was probably insane.
this one's probably my favorite. Amongst the small time crime and chaos perpetrated by children and young adults, few practices were more popular than gathering up in a group and pushing a buggy onto the top of a haystack.
That sounds so
Isn't that just
fun.
a problem? Yeah, that's just a problem you've created.
Someone's going to be real mad about their buggy and
Yeah.
a haystack.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like it'd be pretty easy to get a buggy off a haystack.
Yeah, but how dangerous is that? You're just chipping away at fucking hay underneath it, and you're like, well, it's going to tip this way eventually.
No, you just got to get in it and like push it off. You know,
Just kind of rock it.
like a canoe. You know, you just got to like whoa. You just got to go for it.
You need an
It'll go.
oar up there, yeah.
See, I think I could figure that one out. That's easy.
But of course, that was mostly in rural areas, right? So in the cities, children had a proclivity towards derailing streetcars using bars of soap.
That's how does that work?
Honestly, that's why are streetcars able to be derailed by soap?
Yeah, like what
That
are you
seems
doing?
like a structural problem more than like we got to stop these kids.
Like it's fucking.
What if just
soap.
something? Yeah, it's just fucking soap.
How do you clean it?
What, clean soap like scum? Is this the eternal question?
Well, that's actually a double-sided question. How do you clean the tracks if you can't use soap? And what if soap gets dirty? How do you clean soap?
I think the answer in both cases might be fire.
Uh,
I don't know. I'm not positive,
okay.
but fire cleanses a lot of stuff.
It would definitely clean off the soap, but it would be
It'll
unusable.
transform the soap.
It would be liquid. You know, it would be shampoo
Yeah,
at that
yeah.
point.
Yeah. And you know, you got the old standards: setting fires, breaking windows, letting farm animals loose, and even removing people's front steps and ding-dong ditching them. So when the people came out of the door to try to investigate, they would often injure themselves.
That's pretty funny.
Just like they fucking break their ankles or something.
That is like so
It's
deviously
so simple,
funny.
but it's so evil.
It's better than the flaming dog poop. It really is, because like the poop, yeah, it leaves more of a sting. But if you fuck someone up, they'll never forget that. Like my ankle still hurts from that goddamn kid.
You know what I think would be a funnier one is if you just got like a really realistic looking dog, like stuffed animal, and just set that on fire.
You'd break a lot of hearts.
Yeah, but they would be so happy to know it's just stuffed.
They'd be like, "Oh,"
Or like,
God.
oh, don't worry, it's already dead.
Yeah, they just leave it. They're like, it'll burn out eventually.
Like, oh
It's fine.
shit.
It'll go away.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so that people would injure themselves. All these things. So Halloween became known as Mischief Night or Hell Night.
Oh,
Right?
Halloween.
Halloween. In fact, Halloween in America in 1933 goes down in history as Black Halloween due to the insane amount of chaos, destruction, and just general badness that occurred all around the country. Needless to say, something needed to be done, Grant.
Oh yeah,
Something
what was
needed to be
that?
done. Well, all across the country, school and community boards began, coming up with alternative things for children to do on Halloween night. Communities began holding parties like dances and like costume contests and even like parades. And it was basically transformed from a prank night to a party night, which
All
it
right.
remains to be.
And now people are still pranking and partying, so now you
Yeah.
got double issues.
Yeah, you always got the outliers. But and with each transition period, there comes a company to take advantage, right? In society, just in life. So the company Dennison began manufacturing and distributing Halloween decorations and costumes during this time period. They were the first to manufacture costumes specifically for Halloween, because before this, all costumes were like made from scratch.
That'd have been a
You
lot
know?
cooler, honestly. That way harder, but a homemade costume, there's probably some badass shit.
Yeah, probably. Truly terrifying, I'd think. Right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like that's real life. Like, oh my god. So unfortunately for them, most of these costumes were made of paper. And what with all the open flames of the jack-o'-lanterns, every so now and again, there would be a child that would just catch fire. And isn't that just truly the scariest costume you've ever seen?
They'd end up like Alan Baldwin's cinematographer. Fucking dead.
Jesus Christ. We're just going to keep bringing it back.
Oh, yeah. It's scary enough,
Yeah. So, all these children catching fire, this opened up the costume market to other companies to quickly manufacture far less flammable get-ups for children. Okay. Also, with this came an expansion of options. Most of the costumes coming out after the farewell to paper costumes were of cartoon characters and radio show stars and stuff.
Like Frasier?
Like Frasier, yeah, Frasier Crane.
Yeah, Frasier.
So trick-or-treating after this transition period became a literal bargaining situation. Literally, just people would give out homemade treats, to children in exchange for not having their house pretty much ruined by pranks.
That's reasonable. That's
Yeah.
a reasonable approach.
Yeah, and like I said, they were homemade like treats, but eventually, as we know today, they were replaced with store-bought candy. All right, with Halloween, this is the last paragraph, dude. This is all I got. All right, Grant, this is all I have. Okay, Jesus Christ. So, with Halloween solidifying itself into the fabric of American culture, entertainment soon followed suit. Charlie Brown and the Peanut Crew were famously among the first to do it with The Great Pumpkin. I didn't know that.
Oh, really?
Isn't that cool?
All right.
I
I
like-
love that episode. That's a great one.
Fucking Linus, he was right. Other cartoons, such as the Looney Tunes, soon followed. All right, and then Halloween broke into film. John Carpenter's Halloween movie franchise is largely responsible for the horror genre being as prevalent and beloved as it is today.
Oh, yeah.
Like it still like horror doesn't get the due respect I'd say that it like deserves, but it was way better after the John Carpenter movies.
Yeah, it had its heyday, too, back then, I'd say.
Yeah.
It really, people were, like, into it. They wanted it. And then it got really weird, and now it's kind of never leveled back out,
No, it's true. But, yeah, so this also ushered in manufacturing of more intricate and horrifying masks. So it's a huge fucking market, just different Halloween costumes. Strangely enough, I didn't know this, and I learned this earlier this week, and then I've just been hearing it over and over just on random podcasts and things I've heard. Strangely enough, Michael Myers' signature mask was actually a rubber mask of William Shatner's Captain Kirk.
Oh, yeah. And they
Simply
dipped it
just
white.
painted white. Yeah.
Yep.
That's fucking crazy.
Really? You didn't know that?
I didn't know that until fucking 3 days ago.
That is hilarious. I love it. Yeah, I
Man, you didn't
remember.
know VeggieTales was religious.
That's true. I didn't. I didn't. Georgie was the one that told me that. I didn't know that VeggieTales was like a religious show.
Yeah. I didn't know that when I was a kid, but I found out a couple of years ago. But I was like, I had all the puzzles. I watched the shows. Like, Jesus
Mitch
Christ.
was like, I knew from day
I mean,
one.
it makes sense. I went to Catholic school at the time, but
You're like, yeah, we loved that shit.
yeah. Yeah.
So essentially, what I'm getting here is that Halloween was, it's just stolen. I mean, there's really not. It's just a stolen idea that was like, you know what? Let's stop people from being monsters, and
Yeah.
then we just give them free shit.
Dude, most fucking great art is made from just stolen things.
Oh yeah,
Most
absolutely.
great things are awesome,
I
and they're stolen.
I think Halloween it's a really fun holiday. It doesn't have that appeal that like Christmas and stuff has, only because it's designed for kids. You know, people have made it into like an adult thing. You know, like you have parties and costume parties and shit
Yeah.
like that.
And there's the nostalgia aspect for adults, you know.
Oh yeah, but all in all, like it truly is like a holiday made for children, and I love it. I think Halloween is fucking badass.
Yes.
We have some time here. I'd like to give me. Anybody got any good Halloween memories?
Oh,
Any traditions that
I,
you've done?
Well, all right. I have two things. The first one's wholesome. The tradition is I have ghosted cheeses,
What the fuck is
which
that?
it's just fucking grilled cheese in the shape of a ghost.
Oh, that
And
is cool,
then you dip it in blood soup. This is just tomato soup.
dude. That's cool.
Had that ever since I was a young child. But one time when I was trick or treating with my neighbor, like three teenagers came up behind us like after we were like walking home, and just stole my neighbor's candy, and then she like chased them back to the car that they had a getaway car. And she chased them back to the car, and they pointed what looked like a gun at her.
Jesus.
But it was just a paintball gun. But yeah, the cops came, and that was fun.
Did she get her candy?
No.
Oh, I didn't know things like that
Isn't that
actually
fun?
happened in real life.
Yeah, it was
you
right,
know?
right on my street. Yeah,
That is
so that's a fun
gold.
memory. Yeah,
That's gold. I love that.
I think my favorite costume. I'll just say a bunch of random thoughts I'm having about Halloween.
No, that's what this episode's
Yeah.
about. You know, it's just a Halloween pre-warming episode for you.
Yeah,
We're defrosting you.
I think my favorite costume I ever had that wasn't really a costume and it really just made a lot of people upset was when people would ask me what I am and I would just say I'm on the phone and walk away.
That sounds like a total fucking Jake idea.
Yeah, I didn't want to dress up.
You're like Jim from The Office.
I'm not like Jim from The Office, Mitch. That guy was a bully to Dwight with his bitch fiance.
Honestly, you're not wrong.
They just terrorized him. He's just trying to be himself. You know. Anyway, Halloween. How about that?
Halloween was good. I used to see we don't do a lot of Halloween anymore. But when I was young, it used to be a big thing. Like the whole family would come over. Every year we'd have sloppy joes. I don't know why we'd have sloppy joes exactly, but that was like the only time of the year we
It was
actually ate them.
It was like ground up people.
Oh yeah, maybe I don't know, maybe. And then we'd all go trick or treating, and then everybody the mandatory candy trades. That happened all the time.
No, it's true.
That was like an unwritten rule of Halloween. And then we'd always end with like Night of the Living Dead all the time. That started when I was probably 5,
Nice.
and
Wait, was that when you was that the first time you were shown that when you were? Because I remember you said you watched that like when you were 5.
yeah.
So was that the exact first time on Halloween?
Oh, probably yeah, because we'd watch it every year.
Badass.
And I was always terrified, and I would like cry, and I'd be up all night because I'd be so scared. But it was whatever. That's what Halloween was about.
Yeah, you need to be desensitized.
I can honestly say I think my favorite Halloween costume, it only really worked. Like, it was a cool costume, but it really worked because of what we did with it. I went as the Pope, right? Like, I went full out like Pope. I had the hat. I had the robes. I had the cane. I had the jewelry. And what was funny was that was the first year that I went trick-or-treating, like, without my family. And I went with Georgie, actually, and he was an Indian. And it was just the goofiest fucking combination in the world. There were just two, like, 3rd grade, 4th grade kids, and one was the Pope and one was an Indian. And we were just walking around getting candy.
Dude, you were the Pope in college, too.
Yeah, when we went to
gave me-
that thing, I just, like,
Yeah.
put the Pope hat on. I was like, yeah, I'm the fucking Pope.
Dude, you gave me a picture of you dressed as the Pope, and on the back you said something along the lines of pedophilia. So isn't that fun?
Probably.
That hung on my fridge for years.
Yeah, it exists out there somewhere.
Yeah, it's out there.
If I ever want to run for president, that photo is going to come back and, like, bite me in the ass.
You can't prove it's my handwriting.
Yeah, you can't prove
Yeah,
that.
you can't prove
You can't prove that. Halloween. That was my Halloween. Mitch, what about you? What was your
Yeah,
Halloween?
what's your memories, your favorite shit?
You were mentioning, well, I'm just trying to remember certain things. You guys mentioned when people started making their own costumes. I remember when I was super, super young that my mom, well, actually, I don't even remember this, but there's pictures, and my mom would tell me about them.
Yeah.
And I was super, super young, and me and my brother were dressed up as M&Ms. And, like, my mom created, like, she made the costumes herself.
So just like 2 Slim Shadys?
No.
Oh, okay, the other M&Ms.
You know, like the
Like
chocolate.
Okay.
The chocolate candies. That's all I can really remember.
That's
I don't know.
fine.
We
That's
were the
good.
Beatles that one year.
Yeah, were you which member of the
Yeah.
Beatles were you?
I was John Lennon.
Which one were you, Grant?
I was the one and the only George Harrison.
Wow.
And then, yeah, Georgie was Paul McCartney. And we had, like, a rotation going. David was actually supposed to be Ringo. But all I vividly remember was that he came to school in just like a white sweatshirt, and we were like, that's not going to work. And then luckily
No
we
one's
had a
gonna believe
backup,
us.
and we had someone else dressed as Ringo, and it just worked out that way.
Wow.
But then what sucked is when we went trick-or-treating that night, we didn't have Ringo. Ringo was gone. It was just the 3 of us, so they just thought we were like the Blues Brothers with like a deformed other sibling or something. I don't know.
I don't know. You should have just changed up like who you guys were, like which members, and just say like, yeah, John, yeah, John.
Yeah, I'm John.
You know,
I'm
yeah.
John. No, I'm John. We're all John Lennon. Every one of us. We didn't decide.
We're all
just
John
wanted
Lennon.
to
You
do
just have
this.
like bullet holes on your shirt.
You know what was the coolest thing? Were those masks, and like either it'd be like Scream or like a skull or like a Jason mask, and you could like get like that food color
Oh yeah, they had,
dye
like,
and like make it
pumps.
red. Yeah,
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
pumps with that heart.
Yeah.
Those were so cool.
Dude, it always pissed me off that they wouldn't fully drain. Like there'd be like remnants of the red shit like all throughout it. I was like, come on. But no, you're right. Those are badass.
Yeah, it was Halloween.
Dude, I never got like scary for costumes.
No, me neither.
I was
I
always
always
like-
fun.
I was like, oh, I'm an army guy. You know, like that kind of thing.
I think I went like when I was in like kindergarten or something. I went with exactly what Mitch was talking about. It was like the Scream, like the ghost face mask with like the blood thing. And that was like all I wore that in like a t-shirt. And then every year after that, it was like, let's just like be crazy. Let's just be goofy. I don't know. What do you guys think Halloween can do differently to come back and be a big holiday again?
I think it's a pretty big holiday, man. There's like huge fucking backing for it if it even needs it.
See, I feel like it's so
You know?
underappreciated now.
Dude, it gets a whole month.
That is true.
And I know what people are thinking, like, oh, it's probably just directly in defiance to like Christmas, Christmas decorations. They're already out right now. Isn't
Yeah,
that crazy?
yeah.
But I don't think it's just a reaction to that. I think people are genuinely like, October is the spooky month. Like that's what this is. You're gonna have to accept it.
Yeah, I'll grant you that.
Like you're looking for suggestions to make it even bigger than that.
Yeah, I want Halloween to be Christmas too.
Okay.
That's what I want. But
We
no
could, like-
gifts. It's just like all Halloween.
We could like fake scripture and say like this was the first time Jesus heard Iron Maiden or something like that.
Jesus loves Eddie from Iron Maiden.
And then he had his dad kill him, like, a couple months later.
I think I don't know. I think a big thing is kind of that resurgence. I can't tell you when that started. I don't know, but the whole like check your kids' candy for weapons and drugs and shit.
Oh yeah, and like rusty razor blades and apples and shit.
I think that really put a damper on the idea of Halloween.
Didn't that all stem from like that one guy who he was like the aspirin killer or some shit? He just like he poisoned a bottle of aspirin
Yeah,
and
pretty
it
much.
never happened again. So then everyone just got super paranoid about products.
Yeah, it's like, so here's my thing. First and foremost, this might be an unpopular opinion. If you're eating a chocolate bar and there's a razor blade in it and you don't notice that, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, but it's little kids.
I get
It
that.
is little kids.
But like, okay, so even like candy, right? You're a little kid. You're excited. You're about to take a bite of candy. If it isn't chewy like candy should be, why would you just keep like? Wouldn't you like? Maybe I was just a weird kid, but
How
like,
slowly do you bite, motherfucker? Like these kids are just chomping down.
exact. But you take one chop and you're like, ow, my tooth, and then you're just like, let me just swallow this.
They're like, ow, my tooth that's been bisected and an inch into my gums. Ow.
And
Like,
again-
that's the scary part.
How do you? Again, I know these are kids, but I feel like we're not giving kids enough credit. Why? How do you look?
Have you seen kids?
How do you look at a candy bar and you're like,
They don't know how to do anything.
that doesn't look right. Let me eat it anyway. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm wrong. I think it's a dumb idea. And then I remember, what was that, like 20, I don't even remember the year, when Colorado made pot legal.
Yeah.
And there was that big uproar of like, they're going to start giving away marijuana-infused candy on Halloween.
It's like, motherfucker, you know how expensive that is?
Like, dude, the people that
No
buy
one would
that
be able to
shit
do that.
don't want to give that away, okay?
Yeah,
They
unless it's
want
to like
that.
friends about to watch a movie or something. Like that's when you give it away. You don't give it out to people at your door unless you're a dealer, and that's still a crime.
Yeah, so I think fear is a big thing. I remember this one is a little bit more understandable to me, but like with the dawn of like the whole like pedophile registry being available online, and you could like see who's a sex offender and shit.
Yeah,
like,
it's the beginning of like trick or treating roots.
yeah,
you know?
I understand that those that caused a lot of problems too, because it's like maybe you don't want your kid walking around, in a group of other children in costume to a guy's house that's been arrested for raping a kid. I get that. I get that completely.
No, yeah,
I don't. I'm not against that one, but the whole like
It's not a good thing.
hiding shit in candy. No. I don't get down on that. That I don't believe it. Maybe it's happened, but I don't believe it still.
Yeah, probably not. I don't think people do that anymore.
Um,
People do give out like lame stuff though.
they do. What's the
Like
deal with that?
fucking like ooh, a toothbrush. I'm a dentist. It's like, all right, well, okay.
I remember-
Do you have like anything else to make me like a reason for me to use this? You know,
You
maybe
guys remember the Black Mountain Dew?
the Black Mountain Dew. What is that?
No, I can't say I remember
got
Black
that.
Mountain Dew.
I got that once
Mitch
Mitch
claims
got
that he's
Black
got
Mountain
a Black
Dew.
Mountain Dew.
on Halloween.
I think it was.
He just keeps saying things for us to say for him, even though he could.
I think it was cyanide or something. I'm not sure.
Special.
The worst thing that I think, a couple of the worst things I ever got, nothing like too out of the ordinary. I got an apple. I got
Never got an apple.
pixie sticks. I always thought were dumb. Like that's just. First off, where do you buy pixie sticks? And second off, who
the
wants?
dollar store in cases of fucking like 300.
So pixie sticks, candy corn. That's just because I'm not a candy corn liker personally.
I can dig it. I'm not gonna like buy it.
Yeah, it's like
you know.
it's whatever to me. I'm not a fan.
Have you guys ever got money?
I think
No.
I got like a $5 bill once.
I've never received money from someone after
Yeah,
knocking on their door.
I got that once. And then honestly, the worst thing in the world to me were raisins and Junior Mints.
Dude, Junior Mints are fucking awesome.
I've never been a
They're
Junior
so
Mint
good.
guy, unless it's one of those like Olive Garden mints. I'm not interested. It's toothpastey to me. I want to feel fucked up on candy.
You're disappointing me here.
I would say some of the best things I ever got. I got cash once. I don't even know why I got that, but I did. Couple of times, there was one house specifically, like up the street a bit, that would give out cans of pop, and that was always
that's pretty cool.
That was always really exciting because it was just like, oh, sweet,
Dude, I had
got
one
pop.
of those houses, but it was like Capri Suns.
Oh,
And I was
that's
like,
cool.
this is perfect.
My neighbor one time gave me one of those drumsticks. Like the
Like
ice
chicken?
cream. No, like the
Oh.
ice cream ones.
I was gonna say, like, what the fuck?
And like,
That's awesome.
Luckily, it was like 2 houses down, so it was like, oh, cool. I'm just gonna go like bring this back to my house and then like go trick or treating.
Yeah. You don't want to put that in with the bag.
But I do think Halloween needs a strong resurgence in the community, and maybe where you guys are at listening to this, maybe it's a little bit more popular than it is here. But I have certainly noticed that it has gone just very south.
How do you mean?
I think last year.
Well, last year there was the world was ending.
No, but last year was the first time in I think 5 or 6 years that I had been passing out candy, and we got more than like 15 trick or treaters.
Oh, okay. So you're saying like for the kids specifically?
Yeah, like I'm not even saying that you got to trick or treat, but I feel like there needs to be more participation.
Yeah, more like events like the parades and like the costume contests and shit that we were
It's
talking
fun.
about.
Or if you go to like Disney and you go to like the haunted Disney parties, those are badass.
Dude, I went. The only time I went to Disney, it was on Halloween, and it was sick.
Yeah, they do some badass fucking
There's
shit.
fucking people in costumes, dressed in more costumes. It's crazy.
No, it's see, like that's what I miss. That's the part. Being an adult, Halloween's more about like, I don't know,
Drinking.
For me, it's like watching a movie and
It's-
like eating
yeah.
some food. And,
It's about watching scary movies, drinking with your friends, and that's really it. Like putting on clothes that you wouldn't normally.
not even that. I don't even really do that anymore. It's like whatever.
Yeah, I mean, but that's for if you're like, oh, we're having a party. It's gonna be 50 plus people. Bring a costume. You're gonna do that. You're not gonna just be like the one guy. Like, I brought a white sweatshirt.
Hi, that's me.
Yeah,
I'm on the phone. Jake.
yeah. That was a college party. I didn't know who lived in that house.
And to
Come
think
on.
that all of this stemmed from pouring milk on a grave.
Yeah, just the cottage cheese. The forbidden, deadly cottage cheese.
Yeah, the forbidden milk. You know, it's the dead milk.
No, that's true. Wait, what?
What did you just say to me, Jake?
What are some Halloween movies that you want to watch before Halloween this year? What are you in the mood for? Any new ones coming out that you want?
New ones, I can't say that there's anything new that's got my attention.
Have you watched Malignant?
No.
You have to watch Malignant.
It's not on a streaming service anymore.
Well, fucking figure it out.
No. Why'd you
Jesus.
sound Canadian right there?
You have to do it.
Figure it out.
Figure it out.
I for one, I'm tired. Honestly, I know this is breaking tradition. I'm tired of Night of the Living Dead. I'm tired of it. I've probably
All right.
watched it 45 times.
Well, this is the last podcast we're ever gonna do. It's the
but,
end of an era. Jesus.
However, well, I didn't watch it last year either, so it's like the tradition's dead. I usually watch like a good zombie movie, like that, maybe just a traditional haunted film, and then just an all-around just weird movie.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking my lineup this year is probably going to be the remake of Night of the Living Dead, the one they did in color in like the 90s.
Okay.
Because I haven't seen that one in a while, and I like that one a lot. So that'll be the zombie movie. Then I'm probably going to watch Insidious, because I just bought it on DVD, so like I'm probably going to watch that.
Nice.
And then for the final one, I'll probably watch The People Under the Stairs, because I just found that on DVD too, and I haven't seen that in fucking forever.
Dude. Nice.
That movie it's perfect. It's the right type of Halloween vibe.
It really is.
So that's my lineup of films that I'm planning on watching within the next week or so.
Hell yeah.
But, I mean, you know, for us, Halloween kind of just bleeds into every other month.
Yeah, but you've listened to the show.
There might be like a week in late November, early December when I'm in like a Christmas mood. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, you just watch Elf, you watch The Grinch, and you get it out of your system.
Yeah, and then it's not, a lot of people, they do all in November, all in December. I'm like a good 5-6 days, and then I'm like, all right, I'm ready for Halloween again.
I don't trust people who are consistently jolly that long.
No, and
That's not realistic.
I know we're
What are
coming
you hiding?
up on it, so I want to warn you guys, because, I mean, we got probably about 8 or 9 days before this shit starts. But they put on Christmas carols way too early, and they play like the same 12 songs. And people that listen to that all day, every day are psychopaths to me.
Or they're being held captive at their jobs at the mall.
Now, like, there's a difference if you, like, make your own, like, playlist or something. Because there's thousands of Christmas songs, but, like, when you're just on the radio or, like, on one of those TV channels that just plays music, you know?
It's just Mariah Carey and Bing Crosby.
It's
over and over.
constant. You'll hear the same song 4 times a day. Guaranteed. I don't know how you do that for more than one drive to the store. Like, one 30-minute period.
No, it's bad. I only really listen to, like, Christmas music on the radio, like, when I'm going to the family gathering.
Yeah, it's like,
That's the
okay.
only night I do it.
Yeah, I get that.
You know what I mean?
I do understand that. I like a good Christmas song, but Jesus Christ, shut the fuck up. How about that?
It was his birthday.
What about you? What's a movie you're planning on watching? Or
Movie?
a couple movies. I don't know.
Well, I do want to revisit Shaun of the Dead, because I haven't seen that in probably a year.
That's
And that's
a good
too
one.
long. You know, I think that's too long.
That's a good one, dude. I'm pissed, too, because I own that somewhere, and I can't find it.
I think I do, too.
I don't
I can
know
bring it
where
over
it
if you
is.
can't find it.
And I was too lazy to, like, go home and find it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll just buy another one, and I couldn't find it. So I'm like, well, I don't know.
God damn it.
It's somewhere. I just
Yeah.
don't know, like, where it is.
Yeah. But I'm also making my way through the Friday the 13th movies. It's
Nice.
pretty good.
I just
pretty
watched
fun.
like the one from like 2009 or whatever.
Yeah.
I like it. I don't have a problem with it. I think it's fun.
Dude, I'm on like the second one. So I watched the first and second one yesterday. Gonna keep going, but I'm just waiting for Tommy Jarvis.
Was it 5?
That's like
4
the
or
final
5?
chapter. I don't even know which one it is, but I can't wait for Jarvis.
He's in a couple. He's like himself, and then he's a kid, and then It's weird. Corey Feldman plays
Corey
him
Feldman,
as a kid,
man.
I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go
Tommy
for
Jarvis
it.
makes appearances. I will say those are hard to watch. A lot of these sequels, now that I'm older, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Like part 4 of
I
anything.
mean, it's pretty
I'm
much
like,
the same
okay.
thing. It's just like, yeah.
Yeah,
But
we're just in a new house.
it's
maybe.
fun. It's fun to see the evolution, you know, and it puts you in the mood.
It is true. It is true.
But also, I don't know. I'm kind of just like trying to find new ones that I haven't seen before or just like not familiar with that aren't the ones that have been on like Netflix or whatever streaming shit for like years that I've just scrolled past. I want to find new shit, you know?
No, I don't know.
You don't know anything.
I don't
Neither
know.
do I.
I
Neither
don't
do
know,
you, Mitch.
Jake.
Fuck you. Sorry.
Rude. I agree. I think you should find a new movie, Jake.
Like, can you help me? We gonna watch a movie tonight? What do you want to do?
I'm probably just gonna go poop and then die.
Yeah, but like before that, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, cool.
Maybe.
All right.
But I think with that being said, I think that's our Halloween episode for you.
Yeah, we got something real spooky coming for you next week. It's gonna be the closest to Halloween. It's gonna be thoroughly scaring.
It's
you,
real too.
Okay?
That's why it's fun.
Yeah.
It's not true crime. It's not fake either. So you'll see exactly what the fuck it is next week. You're
But it
gonna
is
love it.
real history.
And
Yeah.
that's why we did this a week early because we wanted you guys to have time to prep.
Yeah.
And then
Process what this is all about.
right? And then next week we'll talk about like the real kahunas,
Yeah, the kahunas.
But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. We love you very much. Have an excellent week, and we'll talk to you guys before Halloween.
No,
So
yeah, we will. We will.
have a great pre-Halloween week. All right,
Great,
get yourselves
everything.
ready.
Everything you want, get it. Just
Yeah.
go get it.
Why not?
You know,
I say do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Grant,
Yes,
you're on this show, and so am I. My name's Jake, and we are starting a cult. Mitch was also here, and you can follow us on all the stuff, the Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We have the email, startacult@gmail.com. Send us your favorite candy through the email. Tell us that. Tell us some scary stories. Tell us that we suck. Whatever you want, just email us. It's great. Startacult@gmail.com. There's also a link below for Patreon. You can become a patron and get 2 extra episodes a month from me and Grant.
Indeed,
Just kind
you
of
can.
talking about whatever.
We just have a fun time with you guys. It don't matter.
Yeah, we're on YouTube too. Bye. Bye.
Scary bananas.